Hello everybody, I am Fuzzyface and welcome back to this McLaren career on Motorsport Manager. We are on the third season. This is part 2. If this video is on a little bit earlier, then that is because there will be 2 videos coming today. So if this one's on around 12 PM GMT time or a little bit earlier than the usual time that it appears in your country, then you will know that there is another race coming up today at the usual time. So just try and get through this series, this season, a little bit quicker than we usually are. We're still trying to work on the reliability. We've got most parts up to scratch there or thereabouts, up to about 60%. Should be good enough to get most of the parts through the race. It could be touch and go with a few little parts. We do have the new engine to actually put in one of the cars. Because it's not as reliable, we're going to stick it in mixed car. That makes Max Verstappen a little bit unhappy, so what we'll do is we'll give Max the better front wing. That evens them back up. Now Schumacher's actually really happy with his car, but he doesn't actually have the better car, Mick Schumacher. He is contracted as a reserve driver, so if he gets anything, even what would be good enough for a number 2 driver, he's going to be absolutely delighted with that. We do have a couple of sponsorship offers to go through here for slot 5, which is the one we actually use for the race. So third or above from Vodafone would give us 1.3 million. Third or above from Carlsberg, obviously there is a little bit of a bigger 7, so that one actually works out a tiny little bit better, 1.2, and then Kingfisher at 900,000, neither here nor there. The Vodafone one does look better on the car. The Carlsberg one looks a bit, doesn't look to be cut out right well, but we'll take it because it is a little bit more money, although money isn't really a problem for us this season. And it doesn't actually look too bad on the car. We have had these sponsors before. We keep rotating between the same sponsors. Like here, we usually have Adidas and Samsung, and then here we usually have Carlsberg or Vodafone. Yeah, so we're just waiting. Hopefully, the AI cars, they're going to be over their reliability problems a lot quicker than they were last season. Because as we saw in the first race, we were a little bit off the pace. The Ferraris, the Mercedes were a lot quicker than us. We came first and second, primarily just down to the Ferraris and the Mercedes not having the reliability. Mercedes not too bad, they managed to get 5th and 6th. Hopefully they're going to be over their reliability problems pretty quickly. As we can see, both Ferraris finished outside the points. Vettel finished 11th, Giovinazzi all the way down in a couple more places further down in 13th. Hamilton seemed to have a few problems with Red Bull, but he got cut out in qualifying, in that he didn't actually get into Q3. So we're going to have a dry race and dry qualifying this time, so hopefully everything's going to be as it should be. Qualifying, we do have the new engine in one of the cars. It's in mixed car, so hopefully Mick's going to be a little bit more competitive in qualifying. Max Verstappen's probably going to be struggling to get on the first row of the grid. We know Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel are probably going to take those 2 positions. But we're going to jump into the Shanghai Grand Prix now. We're going to head to China. We're going to accept the Carlsberg one, just because we know we can pick up 3rd or above, hopefully, in qualifying. Part fitting we've already gone through. So we're going to run practice and qualifying off camera as we usually do, and we'll come back when it's time to go through the grid. So here we go with the Chinese Grand Prix. I actually skipped ahead of the qualifying grid, but as you can see, Sebastian Vettel is in pole. We managed to get 2nd and 4th. Kimi Raikkonen is in 3rd. We've got the Mercedes of Hülkenberg in 5th. Obviously Raikkonen and the Mercedes as well. Giovinazzi in the 2nd, Ferrari in 6th place, and we've got the Williams of Daniel Ricciardo in 7th. The Red Bull of Lewis Hamilton in 8th. The other Red Bull of Van Dorn in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 we've got Lance Stroll. Then we've got Perez in the Force India, followed by his teammate in the Force India, Valtteri Bottas in the Sauber down in 13th. So this looks like the normal level for the Saubers going forward. Carlos Sainz in the Renault in 14th, Pierre Gasly in 15th in the... he's in a Toro Rosso in 15th. Ericsson in the Haas in 16th. Kvyat in the Toro Rosso. Palmer in the Renault in 18th. Felipe Nasr in the 2nd Sauber. And then Santino Ferrucci all the way down in 20th place. So we want to sort of keep an eye on Haas this season, because I do want Haas to just stay up. But then if Haas just stay up, the job might not be available, because Haas is the team that I do really want to move to at the end of this season. Whether we can actually do that or not, it's going to be touch and go, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this race. These first couple of tyres can only go 5 or 6 laps. I think Schumacher can get 5 laps out. Schumacher may only get 4 laps out of it, but Verstappen's off to a slow start here again. We're off to a slow start with both drivers. We're under pressure from Antonio Giovinazzi. Giovinazzi managing to get past Max Verstappen. Mick Schumacher dives up the inside of Verstappen. Verstappen dropping all the way down into 9th place. He's on the inside of, I think that's Lewis Hamilton in front of him. Yes, it is Lewis Hamilton in the Red Bull, Verstappen's former team. So Verstappen's stuck in 8th here already. Stuck behind Lewis Hamilton early on here. We're not going to burn fuel too much. The weather is getting a drop to about 19 degrees, so the tyres we can keep in high mode. It doesn't look like there's any rain coming. Mick Schumacher meanwhile is in 5th place. He's got Antonio Giovinazzi in front. We're going to boost a little bit. No, we'll save the boost. We'll use the boost on Max though, because Max is fighting back here. 6th place he's managed to get back up into. He's going to be held up by Schumacher, but we're going to let our guys race. We try not to do too many team orders, but if Schumacher's holding up Max Verstappen a lot, we'll just try use the boost normally to try get past Mick. Yep, we're not going to try slow Mick down too much because we want him to be in and around. Just let our guys race. Max obviously is a little bit quicker, right? So we're going to go turn down with the fuel from this point forward. Go neutral, although we can push this fuel load. We've got quite a lot of fuel with Mick Schumacher. You can only get another lap out of this tyre, it says. We've got 20 laps to go after this lap. So we're going to have to go soft and medium if we do want to get to the end of this race doing a 2-stop strategy. I did leave a lot of super soft. We managed to do qualifying. We've using a pair of softs in Q1, then a pair of super softs in Q2, and then 1 pair of super softs in Q3. We didn't do 2 runs in either of the qualifying sessions, whereas Max can get another 2 out of this one to get to about 18 laps. So Max can just about do this race on a super soft. So we're going to go super soft, and then the last stint we'll just have to decide from there whether it's going to be super soft or soft from that point forward. But let's just get back into the race here. Verstappen is in 5th, and Schumacher has gone off here. This is the same place that I think Fernando Alonso seems to crash. It's the main crashing area on this track. But Mick has gone off the track. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Right, so I don't think we are getting a safety car out here. It's just going to be yellow flags in Sector 2. So we'll get to concentrate on Verstappen for a little bit. But we're only going to have one car in the points today, which should give another team a little bit of a chance to catch up if the Ferraris or the Mercedes can finish in the points here. Which I guess is good in a way. We don't want too many points just handed to us on a plate due to the AI's lack of sense in getting their cars reliable enough or putting new cars in or whatever they seem to be doing. We can just sort of look after Max Verstappen here. Condition wise, everything's looking decent still at the moment. We don't seem to be dipping too far into the reliability. Have we got any cars coming to the pits this lap? No, we don't. We can get another lap out of this super soft. About, should we push? We might as well go overtake mode, see if we can get past Antonio Giovinazzi. We can't push the engine too much because we don't have that much reliability in it. We might as well push early on. We'll go back now into medium. These tyres getting pretty worn, so we're going to come in this lap. There's going to be 18 laps left, so we're going to get in for a super soft, which we can get 9 laps out of. So we'll go for, yeah, we're going to put the full complement of fuel in because we're going to try use it all, which means we can't really push it into overtake mode too much, which we wouldn't be doing anyway. We won't recharge the battery, and we've put fuel in. We've changed the tyres. So we are just chasing down Nico Hülkenberg now, who is in the Mercedes. We'll save the boost until we come out of the pits. I don't think we've got much chance of getting past Hülkenberg before then. Vettel staying out for another lap. What are his tyres like? His tyres are 26%. He's done a good job on his tyres. Raikkonen's tyres are going. He's into the pits in the Mercedes. Hülkenberg's tyres are fresh still as well. He's going past the pits, so let's just see. Hopefully we get a decent pit stop here. Looks like the fuel's in alright. Refueling's done alright. Schumacher we see in the pits. What are we getting out? And there we still got, that's Giovinazzi still in the pits. Did Raikkonen get out? Raikkonen managed to get out alright. We are out into 12th. We're going to use the boost now, stay in front of the Toro Rosso of Pierre Gasly. We'll hold off a little bit now. We don't want to push this fuel too much, but we can push it in high mode. We'll leave the tyres in medium. They should keep in the optimum temperature because we don't want to burn through these tyres too quickly, because we will be able to go on to another pair of super softs for the end of the race. Meanwhile, we are effectively second place. Vettel is in the pits, so let's just see if he's going to have any problems here. Is he going to get back out? He's refueling. He's putting new tyres in. We've got also Nico Hülkenberg in. It looks like Vettel is stuck in the pits here, so is he going to still be there as we go past? He is. Hulkenberg, though, is back out as well. Mercedes look to be able to scratch. Oh, we're going around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. Let's boost. Can we get him here? We take Kimi Raikkonen. We also managed to take Carlos Sainz, who hasn't pitted yet, so that puts a place between us and Kimi here. Let's use the boost to stay in front. Kimi is now going to use his boost to get past Carlos Sainz, but we've managed to open up about a second gap. But Raikkonen does have a lot of boost here, so we're going to have to try harvest. We're going to have to give this place up to Mercedes at some point, I think, unless we're getting right on the back here of Nico Hulkenberg. But here we go. We know the Mercedes are a lot more powerful than us at this place, at this stage of the season. So it's just a matter of trying to hang on to them as much as we can. We're not going to use our boost. We see Kimi and Hulkenberg flying off into the distance now using their boost. We're not going to use our boost much, but we're back on the back of them. We're just going to try and harvest our boost for the point that we need it. We can keep running in high mode here. We're doing a good job of hanging onto these tyres, so staying nicely in the optimum temperature. We can just sort of sit back and relax and watch Max Verstappen go around this track, try and hang on to the Mercedes here. It's a three-way battle for the win in this race, and it's not actually Hulkenberg in front, is it? It's not. I'm getting confused. It is a Force India of Esteban Ocon. I was sat here thinking they look the same. How close do they look? Yeah, they are slightly different. There's a little green on the track ones, which you can't see when you zoomed out. I thought we were battling with two Mercedes, and one of them is actually a Force India. Hulkenberg is 4 seconds further up the road, so we're going to use this. We weren't going to try and save the boost, but we need it so we don't actually get held up by Esteban Ocon here, who is on a pair of warm mediums. We don't want to be getting held up by him. So we're sort of battling for second place here. It looks like Hulkenberg's flying away with this race in first place then, doesn't it? We are currently in fourth. Sergio Perez has yet to pit. But we should be quicker at some point. We should be quicker than Kimi Raikkonen. What is he doing with his tyres? He's pushing through these mediums. Maybe that's why he's staying in front. But there's going to become a point where he can't push his tyres anymore. And we are going to be the quicker car. And we've got front wing problems already. So we're going to have to replace the front wing. Possibly on the next pit stop. Although we've got 5 laps to go or so. Yet what can we get to on this tyre? Another 4 laps. So we seem to be there or thereabouts. So should we hold off on the fuel for a little bit? Try and recover and try go 5 laps. I don't know whether it's possible to go 5 laps. And we see Kimi using his boost. He's flying off into the distance, but he's going to get held up here by some back markers, or is that... Yeah, he's getting held up by a couple of back markers here. That is a Renault. Can't actually see which Renault it is. It's Julian Palmer all the way down in 17th place. We fly past Kimi. Julian Palmer holding up Kimi Raikkonen there. We managed to make the move, or Verstappen makes a move past Kimi under the blue flags. If that was Sebastian Vettel, he'd be cursing the blue flags, but Kimi a little bit more reserved sometimes. We don't know what he'd be saying about the blue flags. But that gets us up into second now, and we've got the chase on to Nico Hulkenberg. He is conserving his medium tyres at the moment. We know he does have to make another stop because he won't have the fuel to go to the end of the race. So we know we can catch him. We know we do have a fresh pair of super softs left with Verstappen as well. We've got a little bit of boost here. We don't want to use too much of it because we might need it later on in the race. Hulkenberg is going low mode on his fuel, and he's got problems with his car as well. So are we going to be able to catching him here? We're in a second. Within a second, we're going to try go. We can go the extra 2 laps that we want to, I think. I feel that we can do that. Maybe if we go into conserve mode, Raikkonen's going to come in this lap to try and undercut us, but I don't think he'll have another pair of super softs left to pit for. I'm guessing he might go medium again. We'll just have to wait and see what he comes back out with here. Raikkonen in the pits. He comes back out where he is. He's dropping down the order. He's into 8. So he's going to be getting slowed up a little bit. And we're getting Nico in this time. So we're going to probably have to pit. Raikkonen's still in the pits. He's taking a long time in the pits. So that gives us the luxury of coming in this lap. 9 laps. It's going to be cutting it close. But we know we can get the 9 laps out of it. So we'll go super soft. Which does mean we have to fuel to the top. So we can just push in high mode. Should we fix these? I think they're about right to go to the end of the race. We'll risk it. We'll risk it. Just see what we're like when we're coming round to the pits. We'll get a bit further around the track. Nico is coming in this lap. Raikkonen is a long way down the order, 66 seconds behind now. So it's up to Lewis Hamilton, who's yet to pit. So we can actually fix these couple of parts, can't we, and not be worried too much. Nico does have some parts to fix himself, it looks like, so we're going to do it just in case. We don't want them to come and we don't want it to bite us in the butt a little bit later on in the race and have to make another pit stop. So we're going to fix them. We're going to fix it. We've got the fuel and we've got the nice fresh pair of super softs on the car, and we know Nico's coming in to see if he has to do any work on his car. So there we go. Nico is in the pits. Where is Nico? I can't even see him. Where's Hulkenberg? He is still in the pits. So we're going to get out in front of him. We do. We get away. Mercedes having a few reliability problems. We're third. We're fourth. We're fourth. But Ricciardo, Perez, Hamilton, they all have to stop. So we can just sort of run nicely here. High mode we can go into. Should we even go high mode? The engine's looking alright, but the gearbox in. So we might even just go medium, just to save the gearbox. And there we've got Hamilton in trouble. Lewis Hamilton in a lot of trouble in his Red Bull. We've got second place, Ricciardo in front, and it looks like we're gaining on him. He's on a really warm pair of medium tyres. He's a little bit of a boost here. I think he's going to be coming into the pits there. We see Ricciardo dive into the pits. Sergio Perez, problems with his car as well. He's got a lot of tyre left on this medium tyre. I don't know why he hasn't been pushing it too much. I'm guessing he's running pretty low on fuel as well, so he'll have to come in pretty soon. Although we should be lapping quicker than him now. Well, we won't push this lap just to see what sort of lap time we're getting out of this McLaren at the moment. But we are chasing down Sergio. There he is up in front. Who's this that's come out of the pits? Is that someone slowing us down? That is Lewis Hamilton, who has come back out in 16th place after fixing his car. We are behind him on the blue flags at the moment. He's possibly pushing a lot more than we are, so we're getting overtaken by the quicker Ferraris, sort of messing with us at the moment. But we know Perez, we're not going to push the car. We don't want anything to go wrong with this gearbox. We don't want it to blow. We don't want it to fail. So we're just going to keep nice and even here. Carlos Sainz does have to pit again. Daniel Ricciardo, though, is the only car that's really going to be sort of troubling us, but I don't think he's with any sort of touching distance. We did that lap in our last 124.3. Ricciardo's doing 121, so he is doing 3 seconds a lap quicker, although he is pushing a soft tyre, which he can't do for that long. It is going to drop off soon. We can respond to him if he sort of gets close, but as it is, we're just sort of looking after this gearbox at the moment. Don't really want it to get too low. So hopefully we can just sort of trundle on like this. And we can see the Ferrari a lot quicker than us. It's 11th place. That is Sebastian Vettel. The Ferraris are actually really quick, but just the reliability problems here. This is going to give Verstappen his second win of the season if he can keep this up. Ricciardo now has sort of backed off on these tyres. He's doing 122s, only 1.5 seconds. And look there, the gearbox. Problems with the gearbox. Oh no. Don't think it's going to go. We're not going to... Should we go low mode for a little bit and try and look after it? We'll use a boost to make up for being in low mode. We actually went quicker on that last lap by half a second. So in low mode we should be alright if we can just harvest enough battery power. We are actually gaining on Daniel Ricciardo now. He's running in low mode on his tyres. Right, so the gearbox is still at 16%. Hopefully we don't just get some sort of drastic drop off with the tyres. Boost again here. Got tons of fuel left, but we're running in low mode just to look after this gearbox. We don't want Verstappen pushing this car too much. Maybe if we go conserve mode as well, that'll look after it somewhat as well. Ricciardo's starting to push again. Not quick enough though. He's still 13 seconds behind. He went 2.5 seconds quicker than us that lap. Not enough for him to get back in this race. There's 1.5 laps left. Of course, we do have the boost as well that we can use. We'll use it all the way around to the finish this time. I don't know whether using the battery. I don't know whether you... Oh, gearbox problems. It has gone. Is it going to get to the end of the race? The gearbox has gone. Come on, we can do this. Gearbox, is it going to fail? We're at 0%. So, don't want to go high mode just in case it does make it go. We do have the boost. We've got half a lap left. The gearbox has gone. I'm not sure why we're not smoking here. The gearbox is on failure mode. Is it going to last? It is going to last. We're going to creep home. Look at that, 0%. We managed to do a lap at 0% somehow. Somehow we managed to do a lap on 0%. I don't quite understand that, why we do that, but Vettel managed to get back up into 6th place at the end. Giovinazzi finished ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 5th place. 4th place, they're still racing around here, aren't they? Vettel's finished because we just lapped him, which means Giovinazzi keeps his place. Giovinazzi is a long way behind Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg has not yet finished the race. He comes across the line in 3rd place. Giovinazzi going to get an excellent 4th place here. Almost in the podium places for Giovinazzi. Perez will be coming home in 5th place. It looks like he's smoking. Is he going to be able to hold it? Yes, he can do, because everyone else has actually finished, haven't they? Because everyone else was lapped up to there. So Perez in the Force India gets an excellent 5th place. Sebastian Vettel 6th. Hamilton a little bit better in the Red Bull in 7th. Bottas picking up points in the Sauber. Raikkonen in the Mercedes down in 9th. And I think that was Ferrucci in the Haas in 10th place there. And yes, it was Ferrucci picking up a point in the Haas, which might put them in good stead, although Sauber have picked up points. So it's going to be between, because Sauber should be getting a few more points with Valtteri Bottas in the car. Whether Renault can pick up points or not, that is going to be another question. So Haas could be battling with Renault. It's going to be between Sauber as well. I think Toro Rosso sort of have enough about them to pick up a few points this season, but Gasly and Kvyat haven't been doing the best this season. Sainz actually retired during that race. I think it's he had mechanical issues. But Max Verstappen wins. His former teammate, who used to be in a Red Bull, now in the Williams, in 2nd place, and Nico Hulkenberg picks up a podium. First time? I can't remember who actually finished on the podium in the first race, but Hulkenberg gets on the podium in the Mercedes. And what did we see? So let's just have a look where we are at. 68 points. So who hasn't picked up a point yet? Toro Rosso hasn't picked up a point. Haas have actually got 3 points this season. Yeah, so did Ericsson get points in the first race? He must have done. Ericsson must have finished 9th in the first race. And Sauber on 4 points. So Red Bull, Ferrari, Force India, Williams, Mercedes doing a little bit better this season. Although they had a strong start last season, did Mercedes with Jenson Button. And then they faded away a little bit later than that when they started pushing upgrades through the car. So not a bad result, a win for Max. Mick unfortunately crashed a little bit, but he's up to 4 stars now. Almost. I don't think he's been injured from that last race. I don't think he has. No, he's gaining at a nice rate. Max is gaining at a nice rate that he should become the best driver in the game at some point in the future. We actually lost some morale from Mick Schumacher. I don't know why, because it wasn't our fault that he crashed. There we go, 2.3 million coming into the bank now. Nice big chunk of change. Mick Schumacher is now 5th in the championship. Hulkenberg, Perez in front of him on 25 points, doing really good this season. Daniel Ricciardo in the Williams as well. So a decent race there. Still 1st in the championship. The crash from Mick gives the other teams a little bit of breathing room to sort of try and catch us up a little bit. Although none of them really took advantage of it. Mercedes close enough, but we've almost got double the points of them. But we'll just finish as we always do with the interview. So let's talk about Max Verstappen's crash. Where does the fault lie? Max Verstappen did not crash Carlotta. So what are we going to do? Issues? Mechanic relationship, which is alright because we never use the mechanic boost anyway. Right, so Verstappen blitzes the opposition. So that is it. So hopefully we've got another race coming up a little bit later today, which is going to be the Sakhir Grand Prix in Bahrain. It's just got the wrong flag there, hasn't it? That's a UAE flag. They've got the flags mixed up on this one. Abu Dhabi should actually have that one. But yeah, so anyway, we'll have that race coming up a little bit later. This new engine, oh, I don't think we're going to be able to get it done in time. Well, hopefully we've got the car a little bit more reliable. As we saw in the last race, the gearbox got down to 0%, but we somehow managed to keep it going for that final lap. Somehow. We might have been far enough ahead that if it had blown, we might have been able to get across the finish line in front of Danny Rick anyway, but that is it for this episode today. So everyone, thank you. I think we just hit 700 subscribers, so thank you everybody for subscribing. Hopefully we can move on and get to 800 pretty sharpish as well. So if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, all the usual razzmatazz. But until next time, I'll see you down the road for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and goodbye.